Hey everyone, uh, thanks for joining me today. As always, I'm Mike from Team Brothership, and I thought it might be kind of fun today. It's October. It's the spooky season. I thought it might be fun to do some Castlevania. We've talked a little bit amongst the three of us about some spooky horror games that we wanted to do. And John kept vetoing Castlevania. Well, too bad. I'm doing it myself. Yeah, John only likes Super Castlevania 4. He's a big proponent of 8-directional whipping. Don't get him started talking about 8-directional whipping. So yeah, I'm playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Don't worry, I'm not derailing my Final Fantasy III. Oh, that loaded really fast. I'm not derailing my Final Fantasy III Let's Play. I've already recorded like several dozen episodes of that, so we're definitely going to finish that. I just thought in the interim, it might be fun to play something a little different. So yeah, I would actually say if you forced it out of me, that Castlevania Symphony of the Night probably is my favorite game, my most favorite game of all time. Stiff competition with Final Fantasy III and with Final Fantasy Tactics, I would actually say. And then there's others around the periphery that I also really enjoy. Like Earthbound and Shovel Knight, Super Mario Brothers 3, of course, Super Smash Brothers series. I really like Time Splitters, the Time Splitter series as well, but I think when it comes right down to it, Symphony of the Night is probably my favorite game. It's probably the game that I've replayed the most, because it's shorter than a lot of my other favorite games, I think, is what it really comes down to. So, I mean, there's 1,000 Let's Plays of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, but I figured, hey, you can get the Team Brothership read on it. So,
Dracula,
I think it's pretty Oh, this is the new...
You'll never belong here.
So I'm playing this on the PlayStation 4. I downloaded the Castlevania Collection or Requiem or whatever it's called. So I haven't heard this new translation yet. I think it's pretty common knowledge at this point that the opening of Symphony of the Night is actually the ending of Castlevania Rondo of Blood, which for a long time, it's pretty easy to get your hands on now, at least a digital version of that game. But for a long time, Rondo of Blood was kind of the yeah, I just kind of farmed hearts because I don't really feel like fighting this battle right now. You actually get, if you make it through this fight without getting hit, you get some extra bonuses when you start as Alucard. So I'm just gonna cheese this fight. I know, I'm lazy. But I actually, so back in the day, I managed to track down a Turbo Duo. Back again when Rondo of Blood was. Oh, there's a voiceover for this too. You know, I know the translation of Symphony of the Night or the voice acting is pretty notoriously bad. This is not great either. This guy really doesn't have much of any inflection. Whatever. I mean, I know I've definitely am familiar with his voice. He does a lot of other voice acting in games and anime and cartoons, but whatever his direction was here was perhaps not great. But yeah, way back in the day, I actually managed to grab a Turbo Duo when they were just ridiculously overpriced and not ludicrously overpriced. I grabbed a Turbo Duo and Rondo of Blood, and it's one of the few big ticket games that I think does genuinely live up to the cost at the time. It's really, really good, and so it makes sense why they would do a follow-up of it. It's kind of this really neat sweet spot between the more straightforward level-based Castlevanias like like Super Castlevania 4 and Castlevania 1 and 3, and the more open-ended Metroid-style games that they became post Symphony. I think it normally those awkward middle areas of games are problematic, but it was pretty cool in this one, I think. But yeah, but when I first played Symphony, I was probably like 13 or 14, giving away my age, right when it came out. And I only really got it on a whim. At that point, the loading times are so fast, I don't even have time to play with the text. There's the owl. You never get to do the Jedi walk later in the game. Get out of my way. Yeah, Alucard starts with basically all of his end game here. Oh, I got the neutron bomb. But yeah, we don't keep this for very long. That came out of my controller, that sound, so that's probably going to be somewhat tonally dissonant. Sorry, everybody. I don't know if there's a way to adjust the audio coming out of your controller. Oh, that's going to get really irritating. Sorry, really. I've played this game so many times that I can, at least in all the item sounds come out of the controller. That sucks. I can almost, well, I'm going to screw it up now because I'm going to fight some of the fishmen. I can almost predict exactly when at least the first couple of level ups are going to be. But I'm not going to do that because now I'm going to forget and screw up and look stupid. This room actually has a feature that the ground is a little bit lower on the screen than it is in almost any other room in the castle for some reason. And when I come back through here, zombies come out of the floor, and they almost always will hit me because you just can't see them fast enough. This guy looks cool.
What is your business here?
I've come to put an end
I've come to get my stuff. I'm moving out.
Boy, but there will be no games here. If you will not behave, be gone.
I will do neither. Step aside, old man.
Wow, the punctuation kind of sucks in this one too. That was periods don't go in the middle of a sentence, dude. Yeah, I totally will. Even the speech comes out of the controller. Sorry. I will fully acknowledge that it is most likely some kind of Stockholm syndrome because I've played this game 100,000 times. I don't really mind a lot of the voice acting. Oops, hold on. Wait for it. Yeah. I don't really mind a lot of the voice acting in the original version of Symphony. It's certainly, I'm not going to say it's great. But for the lines of dialogue that they're delivering, it's fine. It's fine. It totally has like a cheesy feel. There's definitely some bits that are a little. Oh, now I'm back to punching because death took all my stuff. Aha. Until now, friend. Now I have a sword. Ho ho ho. Now I have a sword. This guy drops a sword too. He drops a two-handed sword, which I'm not going to use because it's slow. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to do a Halloween Let's Play of Symphony of the Night because I can probably finish it in maybe 3 or 4 sittings. Don't worry, like I said, we will be... is that the thing that... Okay. Yeah, some of the relics in this game are a little... seem a little unnecessary. You actually can't get... you need to pick up that relic before items will start dropping from the candles, which is... look out. Whoa. Just kind of a Castlevania staple. These guys actually... Oops. These guys actually swing. before you get up to them. So if you just stand there, they will automatically miss you. Skeleton hit pretty hard for a first room skeleton. Yeah, see. But yeah, this game's fairly short, and I'm very, very good at getting through it quickly. I'm not going to speed run it because I want to do a bunch of stuff, but I can probably get through this game relatively fast. They even changed the death moans of some of these guys. Tragic. Ow, damn it. So you wanna kill that guy on the switch. This might take me a couple tries. Oh, well, I jinxed it. When I first played this, I think I waited till I got the double jump to do that, but you can time it right. It's a mite tricky, but you can time it right so that you want to kill him on that switch. Oh, no, he's not going to do it. He's going to ruin my brilliant plan, my cunning plan. You can kill him on the switch. Oh, go back. Please go back. Alright, here we go. And you do have to jump in just the right spot. Ugh. And it's a little concerning because you can't really see him. Yes! Okay. And you can get this this totally sweet knife, which is not as good as what I'm using right now. It's fine. Everything's fine. Oops. Yeah, like I said, I'm not speedrunning this or trying to do any like no-hit run or something. I'm just trying to get through. Maybe I'll rename our playlist like Chill Let's Plays, Mike's Chill Let's Plays. Make that a subsection of Team Brothership. I keep bugging Paul and John to do their own stuff, but John has no recording equipment, and Paul has a child and a family that he has to deal with. Well, whose fault is that? Not mine, I'll tell you. Now we get a knife. I pretty much always use the axe in this game. I know the cross is the objectively most powerful weapon. I like the axe is really, really useful for hitting certain areas. So I tend to stick with that. It's definitely not, like I said, it's not as strong as the cross. And there's some other stuff that's pretty beefy as well. But I like the flexibility of the axe, and especially early on. There's one coming up like 2 rooms from now, I think, which I'm going to use and probably carry for most of the rest of the game, outside of a few spots where we need some of the other sub-weapons. It's definitely... Oh, I'm full of heart, so I don't need to pick up any more of this crap. Oops. Uh-oh. Don't land on the spikes. Oops. Or that. Those guys can sometimes drop some pretty decent armor. Yeah, this is my real chill game. Like when when I've been having a tough go of things, which You know, I'm going to go on record and say I bet a lot of you have been. When I'm having a tough go of things, this is the game that I go back to just glide through. Maybe I can muffle the control, get some gauze or some duct tape. All right. And actually, this Symphony was not the first game where when you drop the sub-weapon, the other one stayed. That started with Rondo, and it was a really good thing that they carried over to most of the later Castlevanias. Sometimes you can hit both of them with the axe if you time it right. Oops, which I'm a little sloppy today. There we go. I'm gonna wish I'd hit that guy a few more times. Oh. Whoa. Oops. Oh, did I not equip my shield? Whoops. Just getting too carried away with the excitement of the game. Oops. Getting walloped by these guys. Usually this is not a, there we go. Oops. Getting really worked over here. There we go. Those guys are recurring Castlevania bosses. Slagra and Gaibon, I think. Slagra's the little skeleton, bird skeleton thing, and Gaibon's the bat. They actually first came. John will appreciate this. They first showed up in Super Castlevania 4, I believe. They were actually very late game bosses, but they become pretty recurring Castlevania enemies. Oh god, there's so many sounds coming out of my controller. It's right next to the microphone, so you can hear all those clicky-clacky button presses. Some cool stuff down here. Cool shades. I like how the sunglasses lower your intelligence slightly. It's a little bit of social commentary. There's lots of little details. I for the record, I like pretty much all of the later Castlevanias, all the handheld Castlevanias. I don't like Order of Ecclesia. I feel like it was balanced very weirdly, which I know that's heresy, but I like all of the other games. But you'll hear people talk, if you read some of the think pieces about Symphony of the Night or just Castlevania in general. I especially feel like if you read some of Jeremy Parish's stuff, like the old GameSpite or 1UP stuff, where he talks about Castlevania, as good as all of those later games are, they're always a little bit... This game has so many little weird details, like the sunglasses lowering your intelligence slightly. You know, like the peanut, if you eat peanuts, you gotta like throw them up in the air and catch them, and you only get 1 hit point back. Or the one Yorick skeleton that's running around chasing his skull. There's all these like just weird little details that you don't really get in some of the later ones. Dawn, I think it's Dawn of Sorrow, the first DS one where you're playing as Soma. There's a little bit more of that in there, and they're actually, as much as I dislike Ecclesia, there's a little bit of that in there too. But it's never to the level that it is in Symphony. And I think a lot... Well, I'm going to burn bridges here. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Koji Igarashi, the guy who kind of became the father of Castlevania, or the not father, but the... Oh, come on, get out of the way. Throw axes with me, will you? who kind of became the steward, we'll say, of Castlevania post Symphony. And he was involved with Symphony, but he was not the lead director on this game. I actually forget who that guy was, but it was somebody else on Castlevania, somebody else at Konami who left, I believe, post Symphony. And I think oops, more garbage sub-weapons. I think that's why this one is just a little bit different. And again, I like Koji Igarashi's games. I really enjoyed Bloodstained, his new thing that he came out with. I thought that was a lot of fun. I mean, it's a Castlevania in all but name. But I would have been a little curious to see what that other fellow would have gotten up to as the steward of the series. So we're in the marble hallway now. Whoops. The second area of the game. No boss in here. You know, I'm trying to think. I don't remember whether they said they added in any of the stuff from the Saturn version in this. So there was a couple years after Symphony came out on the PlayStation, and it was, sold pretty well. It was considered like one of the. It got a greatest hits release. It was like a big PlayStation release. There was a port for the Saturn that the Saturn had basically failed in the U.S. at that point, and so they weren't really bringing over many of the games. So it was a Japanese exclusive Saturn port, and I remember for years that was like one of my holy grails because I heard they added more stuff in. I was like, oh man, they added 2 areas, and they brought back some of the familiars that they cut out of the U.S. version, and they put in some dialogue, and there were extra boss fights. Like, oh, that's so cool. And I did end up playing it years later. I created I got an import Saturn set up, and I imported that game, and it's not that good. I mean, it's still Symphony, so it's not like terrible or anything, but it definitely feels a lot jankier than the transparencies are not very good. It's classic Saturn stuff. The loading times are longer. It's just not a. It's still fine. I mean, if that was the only version of the game that you played, you wouldn't be like, why do people like this game? It's terrible. Like, it's still really good. Okay, and actually, a little bit of editorializing. So I'm going this way, and then I'm going to double back. I want to open up a shortcut, because if I open it up now, it will make going back this way later much faster. There are 2 enemies at this point in the game that can do a lot of damage to me if I'm not careful, but I think we'll be fine. Anyway, it's still fine. Like, it's still a decent game, but it's a little janky, and even the extra stuff that they've added ends up feeling really like superfluous, and like it doesn't really fit even, with the exception of there is one item. Gambled right on that one. There's one item that lets you do a dash, so you can like speed up your walking, which is very helpful when you're going back and forth between the rooms in the castle 100,000 times. I definitely missed that. And I don't remember, some of the later versions, they added in some of the stuff from the Saturn ports, like when they ended up porting this to every console under the sun. I own like 1,000 versions of this game now. I still have my original PlayStation disc. Okay, this guy, if we are not careful, he will really mess us up. He can do a lot of damage. When he's facing the other way, it's not a problem, but when he turns around, he'll start doing these like fire punches and blasting fireballs and things, which are not a lot of fun. And now we reopen this area. Actually, I think I wanted to jump down there, because you can get there's an item down there, but it's at a weird angle now. That's fine, we'll get it later when we get the double jump. I'm hoping, oops, banged the microphone. I'm hoping that I can get to the double jump very quickly, and that maybe that's where we'll wrap for today. It's kind of a straight shot. Well, a Jeffy from Family Circle style straight shot to get the double jump. It's kind of one beeline through the castle. All right, now I gotta kill this guy again. Oh, did that? No. Yeah, he's worth a lot of experience too. Okay, we should be in the clear for the trip back. So yeah, so I don't know if they added in any of that stuff into this version. I can't remember. I know they put in one or two things into the... Oops, don't want to get surrounded by ghosts. They don't do a lot of damage, but you don't want to get stun locked. Oh, money! Getting to the... We're on our way to the library right now. Which is where we can buy some equipment, some better equipment. So it's good if you can get some decent amount of money when you get there, so you can buy some better stuff. Although I guess since I haven't played through this game on my PlayStation before, there's not really like a New Game Plus mode with this. But at least in the original PlayStation version, I think in the PSP one too, when the first time you go through the game, you'll unlock different things for sale in the library at different points. And if you play through on that same memory card, as it were, with the PlayStation, those things will stay unlocked in the library for consecutive playthroughs. So you can, oh, jeez. Stop being a dummy. Oops, got me right in the noggin. So you can kind of start out with some slightly better gear if you get enough cash. Right, but that shortcut will save us quite a bit of time later on. Although if I'm replaying a bunch of sections, I might just cut that out. We'll see. We'll see how it feels. If it seems like you're all going to get bored, then I won't waste my time. You could have put those lanterns just a little bit lower so you could have hit them with your sword. Anyway. So yeah, this is probably the game that I've replayed, all the way through the most in my life. You can usually knock it out in a couple of hours, burn through it on a weekend. I'm sure if you're trying to speed run it, I'm sure the speed run times are very brief, I would imagine. The Fleamen. That comes out of the controller too, great. They're actually slightly less irritating.
Are you human? What are you doing here?
If I had a nickel for every time a woman asked me that.
Destroy this castle.
Likewise. I'm Maria. And you are?
Alucard.
Well, if you're a better swordsman than a speaker, perhaps I'll see you again. Farewell.
This is the clock tower room. There's a bunch of secrets in here that we will be revisiting in the not too distant future. The Fleamen are slightly less irritating in Symphony than they are in the other Castlevanias. With Alucard's sword attack is fairly quick, but with Simon's slow whipping, they can be a real problem. And obviously, Alucard is leveling up RPG style, so his health bar is quite a bit longer than Simon's ever is. Or Trevor, I suppose. I did watch that, I haven't watched the last season, but I've watched the first 3 seasons of the Castlevania Netflix series. Pretty good, actually. Pretty good. It's got a little bit of the, who's the guy that's created it? Warren Ellis, I think. Yeah, it's got a little bit of his excesses, which I'm not a huge fan of. But the animation is very solid. The character development's pretty good. It's an interesting, I don't know if it would be my interesting enemy that I won't comment on. Oh, if you look in the background, there's like a giant eyeball that's floating around. I think I heard that was... Oops. I think I heard that there was originally supposed to be some kind of boss tied in with that. There's all sorts of stuff that got cut out of this game, which, I mean, that's where some of the Saturn stuff came from. At various stages of development. But yeah, that eye's just always there. It's never explained. It's outside, so clearly there's something humongous, like, out in the woods outside of the castle. So not even in the castle itself. It might also be a reference to the in a lot of the earlier Castlevanias, when you first bust into Dracula's castle and you go through that initial hallway, there's those eyeball enemies, and one of them will sometimes come in through a window. Interestingly, those are some of the few Castlevania enemies that don't show up in this game for whatever reason. Oh, right, okay. So, this enemy is extremely powerful and will handily dice us. But if I can kill him, I can actually... Oops. I mean, his attacks will probably take off about half my health bar at this point. Ooh. No, not quite, but... Yeah, that was a... There we go. Okay. Killing him gives me access to this room, which if you didn't know what you were looking for, might be hugely disappointing. And even that, the pot roast, which is a decent heal. But if you crouch here, one of the, I guess maybe this is a bit of a nod to Simon's Quest and its oblique secrets. If you kneel here for a little while, you'll Mario-style teleport through the floor. And these 2 items are quite a bit stronger, well, especially the fist, are quite a bit stronger than what I'm packing now. The mirror mail is stronger, but not way stronger. This will help me handily coast through the next little chunk of the game, which, I mean, you don't need. This isn't a super hard game, and I've certainly played it enough times to not really worry about that kind of thing. But this will help speed up some things, because you deal a lot more damage to enemies. Another fun little secret down here. There's I guess it's a seagull. It doesn't really look like it's shaped like a seagull. He just kind of chills out there. And then there's the telescope here. If you push up next to the wall, you can look out into the lake. And there's the boatman. Sometimes a fish jumps. I don't know. There's all sorts of little, like, weird luck-based things in this game. Sometimes you'll see, like, 1 or 2 fish jump, and I think that actually means something. It does this jump kick if you do a down attack while you're wielding a fist. As powerful as this fist weapon is, I'm usually always I'm usually looking forward to getting rid of it, because the range is very short, especially compared to some of the swords you can get. So you end up taking a little bit. You do a lot more damage, but you end up watching him tear through this guy. Yeah, one shot. You end up doing a lot more damage, but you take more damage too. The fist weapons also tend to have kind of a high critical hit rate, which is neat. So you can really wipe out certain enemies that way. I feel like I'm muttering Mushmouth style a little bit today. Enemies. Sound like my great-grandmother. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh my god. It's the Stargate. Oh, and it's me. Oops. Alright. Once we... Ow, come on. Once we start hitting this guy... Nuisance. Yeah. Oh, you felt that one. Yeah, they're already running out of ideas for bosses. They're sending clones after you. Yeah, I'm gonna guess originally that was supposed to be something else. There's one more clone that we fight a little bit later in the game. Actually, quite a bit later. Yeah, that was supposed to be the next sword upgrade, the gladiator sword. But compared to the fist thing that I'm using now, it's pretty worthless. Yeah, the fist is going to be pretty viable for quite a while. There's an elevator here that's not working. Oh my god, he's throwing barrels at us. Yeah, the short range, you feel it with that guy. We're not going to be punching the spearman. Can punch the gun guys, though. Kind of a weird series of steps here with all these enemies. I think this is the first teleporter. I think, of course it is. You can teleport back to the main hall now. So these are to help speed us around the castle a little bit. Open this up so we can get in from the other side. Lower the wall. Ride it down. Janky animation here. So the outer wall is kind of a neat little area because it has weather effects depending upon when you go in there, and I think they're random. There might be some way to kind of set things up, but as far as I know, they're random. It doesn't actually impact anything that goes on in the outer wall, as far as I can tell, other than maybe when it's foggy, it's a little bit harder to see things, but it doesn't really impact anything. And the way you can tell where you're teleporting are, I guess that's like a spine or something there. There's different like animal heads over the different teleporters, so you know what part of the castle you're winding up in. Oops. Ooh. Whoa, okay. Sometimes that guy drops a pretty good weapon, too. We passed the library, but I want to do this first anyways. Alright, we turn the elevator back on, which should net us the... Every once in a blue moon, these Medusa heads will drop a really good shield. Grab that. It's our first transformation. I never remember which buttons do what transformation, so I'm going to mess around usually. But I think that can net us. I think with the wolf dash we can get this thing. Not here though. Oops. Yeah, this one is what I want. Oops. I think there's one more thing way at the bottom that we can kind of get with the wolf dash. I don't think OSHA signed off on this safety protocols here. think we can get this one with the dash. Yep. Ta-da. Oops. Well, now we gotta go all the way around. So we're gonna pop into the library, buy some new gear. Hopefully there's some better armor, because I feel like I'm taking a lot more damage than I usually do. But maybe my defense is garbage. Yeah, the way that initial fight plays out, and I have not researched all the specifics of it, but the way that initial fight with Dracula when you're playing as Richter, the way that plays out does influence your starting stats and your starting gear as Alucard. But it's definitely time for an upgrade. These guys can drop some decent gear sometimes too. Oops. No, that's not it. Yeah, there was actually one, this was years ago now, but there was one time where I did go through and I farmed literally every item and every enemy. I completed the encyclopedia. Oops. So I know what every enemy, well, I knew once upon a time what every single enemy drops. I know who's got the good stuff and who doesn't. Yeah, the fleas become somewhat more of a problem with the fist since your range is a little crummier, but not a big deal. This would normally be our armor upgrade if I hadn't already grabbed the Mirror Cuirass. I think they have about the same defense, but the mirror makes you immune to petrification, which situationally useful, but there's a few of those Medusa heads that makes a bit of a difference. What's my money doing? 2,000, not a lot. There's a little bit later in the game, there's a place where there's one candle that drops bags of, I believe it's 2,000 gold. It's a little bit irritating to farm, but that's, if you want to rack up some money, that's where you want to do it. The rest of this stuff is kind of a joke. Okay, these enemies have a very irritating attack if they hit me, so I'm hoping that that does not happen. Oh, actually, did they? No. There was, the Saturn port did introduce another kind of useful thing where you could equip a, I think it was the Saturn port, where you could equip a usable item. And they found that to a key, where now, normally to use an item, you have to equip it in one of your hands, so you're unequipping your weapon or your shield. And then you have to actually, like, use it. The later games, I mean, I think they were trying to not cripple the action part of the game, in that, you know, you had to use the items in the field. You couldn't just, like, go into the menu and, where'd you go? You couldn't just go into the menu and, like, spam all your healing items. Well, those books ran away. Cowards. Where'd they go? Oh, there's one of them. Yeah, the book are one of the few... Oops. Don't want to get speared. The books are one of the few 3D enemies. You used to be able to, like, punch the swords out of the books. Like, you could hit them, and then they would all... not the books, but you could hit the swords, and the swords would, like, explode. Maybe they took that out of this version. Yeah, I mean, obviously most of the good drops in this game come from either late game enemies or very rare enemies. Hey, we made it.
It's been a long time, old one.
Eh? Why, it's Master Alucard. Come to visit, have we?
I need your help.
This is the
but
librarian.
young master, I could never betray
I like how he does the little
You
Dracula
won't go
pose.
unrewarded.
Really? In that case, just tell me what you need.
I don't think I have any gems to sell. Oh, I do. I have one zircon that I can sell.
Thank you.
How about
Alright, let's see. Well, we need the Jewel of Open, because we literally cannot progress. That's a relic. We can't get any further in the... Well, we're going to run into a blockage at some point. Ah, Damascus Sword. No, we don't have enough for the Iron Shield, which would have been useful. Get a leather hat. Well, we can slightly upgrade our armor. Actually, the cloak, the reverse cloak's probably the way to go, since that gives us a constitution boost and a pretty decent defense boost. We don't really need the castle map since I have this all memorized, but I'll grab it anyways. Actually, there's no select button on the... I guess it's probably the... yeah, okay, so there's our map. There's where we gotta go. Oop, let me equip my new cloak before I forget. The reverse cloak actually opens an option in the menus where you can you can reverse the cloak. Look at that! Wow. Again, these little things that they throw into the game. It's kind of funny. It is a very bright cloak. None of Alucard's armor ever shows up on his person, but obviously the weapons are depicted a little differently, and the cloaks look a little different, the coloring anyways. Alright, so we got the jewel, so now we want to backtrack a little bit. And this is where that shortcut's gonna pay off. I'm going to do things a little bit backwards, because I want to. And it makes it a little bit. You can get a relic a little bit sooner than normal if you do it that way. It's not. I wouldn't exactly call it sequence breaking, but. I find it more convenient to do it that way. Alright, so we gotta go back to the hallway. Running out of batteries. Well, we can... I guess we're probably not gonna get to the double jump. I thought I could do that in an hour, but I was wrong. With so many things. We'll get a little bit further anyways. Yeah, see, this is... Whoa. This is one of those enemies that's a little bit inconvenient with the fist, because you gotta get kind of close, and he moves in a herky-jerky way. Like I said, it's going to be quite a while before we get something that's better than this fist, so I hope everybody enjoys it. I have no... You know, obviously a lot of Castlevania's bestiary is drawn from myth and legend, and then some of the classic horror movies. I mean, originally, Castlevania, if you play the original Castlevania, and I think even 3 kind of leans into this as well, they were basically designed as, like, homages or rip-offs, essentially, of the universe. Oh, so this is what we bought the Jewel of Open for, so we could open that door. Actually, there's one other door we gotta open too, but they were kind of homages or rip-offs of the Universal Monster movies, and you know, all the bosses were the classic, you know, Frankenstein, Mummy, and Dracula, of course. You had the mermen and everything, and they even had like a little like film reel effect going on during the game's openings. So Castlevania is also clearly inspired by classic horror films, the Universal ones in particular. But this is a very, very long and roundabout way of saying I have no idea where that lady growing out of the back of the giant reptile frog monster thing comes from. I absolutely at a loss. We got him actually with the fist. Okie dokie. Some stuff to do in here. A lot of stuff to do in here. We need 2 relics here, basically. We need 1 javelin. Oh. Ugh. This is a really easy place to lose your sub-weapon because you grab the holy water and it just falls down that pit. There's a bunch of secrets around here. Those might be better than my sunglasses, I think. Yep. I don't even lose the... get my intelligence back, too. There's a handful of, like, fighting game style... Whoops. Fighting game style moves you can do to cast spells in this game. I almost never use them. They're not super vital. And the you can buy the scrolls in the library. 400, that was pretty good. You can buy the scrolls in the library that will show you how to do it, but if you know the combination or the combo, you can just do it yourself and unlock the spell. I'm trying to... some of the weapons, too, have like special features and like Hadouken-style attacks. Actually, you know what? Well, hold on a second. So normally, you would go through here, and there's sort of a mini-boss you fight in here. A little inconvenient because of the fist. And then normally you would proceed forward a little bit, and there's another boss. Now, I usually go through a really roundabout way of doing this. There's a thing down here that you can find that makes this boss fight a lot easier, but you can't get it without the boatman's help. And as you can see, he is not here right now. Sometimes they drop really good armor. He's not here right now, so there's like a roundabout way to do this. You know what? I'm going to push forward and just fight the boss. It's going to be a little bit tougher right now, and I can die right here if I'm not very, very careful. Yeah, Alucard, being a vampire, is weak to water, and there's something that you can get to assist with that. Ooh. Yeah, this might not be a super fun fight, but we'll see. Got one of them. Ooh. We didn't get them all, did we? Okay, now I'm gonna cheese this fight. You take a little bit of damage going behind her, but then you can just kind of sit there and pound away. So that was Scylla, I believe, from Greek mythology. One of the... now I think I've rendered my reverse cloak useless. Oh well. It's 2,000 gold well spent. The crystal cloak. And hopefully that water all drained away, otherwise I'm going to die going back through here. It's been a long time since I did it this way. I usually go through the pathway to get the thing that makes you immune to water first, because it makes that fight a little bit easier. And my Jewel Knuckle is still quite a bit stronger than that, yeah. I don't think the water comes back up again. That would have been useful during that fight. Yeah, I basically do this whole roundabout loop just so I don't get killed in that room, but clearly not necessary. We gotta come back here anyways, eventually, so... I may, as we get a little further into the game, I may start trimming out some of the backtracking that we'll do, because I'll usually have some interesting things to say the first time we pass through rooms. I don't know how interesting it'll be when we're going through them, like, multiple times, or when we go through the second part of the castle. We'll see. And go a little bit further today. Hey, it's a mushroom. I think there's another mushroom up here. Yep. Yeah. Whoa. Hey there. Calm down. So there's shiitake mushrooms and toadstools. Oh, this is kind of funny to watch. You back up the leak and then just drown these idiots. There's shiitake mushrooms, which are good and will heal you, and toadstools, which if you eat them will poison you. I don't know why you ever would, because it says right in the menu, don't eat these, they'll poison you, but again, these weird little nods in this game. Yeah, it's kind of funny that the Saturn port of this was so, like, half-assed, because obviously if you're a classic gamer, you know the spiel about, you know, the Saturn was really the 2D machine. I mean, the PlayStation had some pretty decent 2D capabilities as well. They just, you know, were leaning into the 3D stuff. Knuckle Duster. I think my Jewel Knuckle is still better, but we'll check. Yeah. The PlayStation, you know, there was it's an apocryphal rumor that the PlayStation couldn't handle 2D. It can. I mean, obviously, there's this game. There's some other pretty impressive... there's an item that I can get if I aim just right. Yeah, mushroom. There's the toadstool. You don't want to fall down that waterfall and get killed. It is apocryphal. I mean, the PlayStation was a fairly powerful system. It could handle 2D very well. Really hoping they drop that armor, because it's really good. Makes the next chunk quite a bit easier. Hey, it's our buddy the boatman.
Welcome aboard, O Prince. Shall I guide thee across the river?
Yes, please. Okay, here's where that giant bag of gold is, which I'm going to try to get. If you biff it. Oh, damn it. I could jump into the water to get it, but I'm not going to. Because you can get killed real easy, because then you got to run through the water to this next chunk. Okay. So this relic summons the boatman to that other stop, but because of that waterfall, you cannot walk back that way. You have to go all the way around. Which is a little annoying, but whatever. Oh, crap. Well, it's not ideal. I missed about 4,000 gold in combination just there. Can farm it later if I need it, which I don't. I mean, you don't really need to buy anything from the librarian. I missed that too. Most of the better equipment is stuff that you find anyways. There's one or two things that the librarian has that are pretty worthwhile, but other than that. And this loops us back around, and hey, back at the beginning. Look at that. I think there's actually something I can get. Is it with the wolf? Nope. There's like a weird secret in here. I don't remember whether it's the wolf or the bat. Oops. But going through this tunnel with one of the transformations unlocks a little secret passage there. Guess it's the bat. Now here's where I'm going to get whacked by all these zombies, because watch, their name covers them up, so it's really hard to see. I usually just jump over them, because I can't see. Oops, not like that. Yeah, a lot of the enemy sprites in this game, well, a decent chunk of them are ripped straight from Rondo, and they keep ripping them right up through like Portrait of Ruin, I think. So they certainly got their mileage out of those. Anyway, we've been going for about an hour, so I think I'm going to wrap up here. You've seen sort of the first run of the game. In the next pass, we'll go through the chapel, and we'll get the double jump finally. Then we're going to start poking around and cleaning up some of the odds and ends. So anyway, thanks for joining me on this spooky Halloween Let's Play for Team Brothership. Weird. The cape effect in the recording looks all janky. Anyway, so I hope you all have a great week, and I will talk to you soon.